Hi, WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. And today I have the last George T. Stagg video from the year 2009. It's 70.7 ABV. It's 16 years old, which means it was distilled in the year 1992, the year my son was born. Wow. That was interesting. The year my son was born, and it was, of course, bottled in 2009. Whiskey Base 15223 over here in Germany. I can also buy this bottle still for 999 euros. Amazing. About $1,100, $1,200. So, 109 barrels were chosen for this, and there was an evaporation rate of 49.81%. George T. Stagg was a salesman of bourbon. If you watch my other videos, you know all about this. He, with Colonel E.H. Taylor, bought a distillery named Blanton's back then. They changed it briefly into the name OFC, Old Fire Company, and then when George T. Stagg bought out his partner, Colonel E.H. Taylor, he renamed the distillery into George T. Stagg Distillery, today also known as Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace has the George T. Stagg. Buffalo Trace has the Colonel E.H. Taylor small batch as well as single barrel. And we also have the Blantons with many different expressions. For example, the gold, straight from the barrel, reserve, and so on. The most famous thing right now is the fall release of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, also known as the BACT. BTAC. Wow, I'm getting my things confused here. The Willett Laurel Weller 2000, they started off with 90 proof, and then they finally, 2005, said no, it has to be cask strength like everything else. Eagle Rare 17's been part of the BTAC since 2000. Sazerac 18 has been part of the BTAC also since 2000. And of course the George T. Stagg and the Thomas H. Hardy Sazerac also 2006 is when it started to become part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. Very difficult to get. Over here, I'm going to be paying around 3,500 euros for those 5 bottles each year, if at all I can find someone that will allocate them for me, which runs up to about $4,000. Never going to happen in my lifetime. But I did get this nice little sample. So, 2 CLs, around $25 for this. Good enough for a video. Good enough to say I've tried it. Good enough to have a fairly accurate expectation for the future. But I don't know. Stagg Jr. kind of did convince me that it's as good as, or sometimes even better than, the George T. Stagg. Now, there are many different possibilities. My best theory at the moment is I like my whiskey sweeter. And George T. Stagg is 16 years, 15 years, 18 years old, and there's a lot of wood in there. Almost maybe for my palate, a little bit too much wood. And either I'm not developed enough to appreciate this fineness, or, hey, I'm just never going to like it, and I'd rather have something a little bit less expensive. That's why I do not drive a S-Class Mercedes, but rather a normal sedan, which is just fine for me. So, let's see what my nose says. Ooh, this is interesting. I like this. There's a sweetness. I like my whiskey sweet. There's candy corn. There's pecan pie. There's clover. There's leather. I love my leather. And there's a lot of alcohol, 70.7% ABV. And I have my corn on the grill. What's the butter? Let's go for the... very nice. A little bit more intense. Not actually needed, to be honest. It's more than intense enough as it is. A little bit of burnt caramel, as well as a little bit of burnt butterscotch, candied almonds, and orange peel. All right, ooh, this is the best George T. Stagg I've had yet. At least individually tasted here. I gave the Stagg Junior 2013 a 1, an A, I'm sorry. I gave the Stagg Junior 2014 an A minus. I gave the 2013 George T. Stagg a B. I gave the George T. Stagg 2011 a B minus. And this is either a B plus or an A minus at the moment. Let me taste it. I hope it will be. Hot. Wow, that was a punch on my taste buds. That was really, really intense. It was so intense that I really didn't even have the... This is nice here after 10, 12 seconds. But here, it really wasn't even discernible. So 70.7%. I keep on forgetting how much that really is. This is going to dilute it down to 62, 60 around. I might actually have to add more water over here to get it down to what I want it to be. All right, this was nice in the nose as well. I get a lot of wood, but not a bitter wood. Candy corn, clover. I'm getting my leather as well as my pecan pie. Nice. Oh, that was a sweet spot. That was good. I think I got more like 50 something, 58%, 55%. Oh, that was good. Sweet. Alcohol is there, but it's just supporting. It's not dominating anymore. The wood is also there, but not too much. But I have prominently clover, pecan pie, tobacco. And this time I have a little bit of straw. So a little bit of hay was in there. It's a little dusty, not bad, but it's there. I like. So, so this is really going to get some water again. I'm trying to dilute it down to about the same amount. Oh, it's got a richness, a darkness, a caramel, a burnt caramel. It's got a little bit of butterscotch in there. It checks a lot of my boxes that I just love. This is definitely the best George T. Stagg I've had in the last week. It's got the sweetness. As I said, the wood is not dominant but present. It's not the main actor, it's a supporting actor. Very mature. This could also be something people like with their pipes and with their cigars. The orange peels I get again. This is good. How good? B plus definitely. B plus. So, WhiskyJason here. This is a problem. This means that my Stagg Junior this means this means the Stagg Junior tastes better, at least for me, WhiskyJason here, than all three George T. Staggs. This is very, very close. I might have been a little too harsh by not giving it a 1 minus. I'm really tempted to still give it a 1 minus. All right, B plus / 1 minus. It's one of the borderline type of candidates. I teach at a university, and when we have a grade, let's see, it has to be a 1.0 over here, which would be the A plus instead of the A. We have like the 94.5. We have to round up, and that would be 95, even though it really isn't a 95, it's 94.5. And the same thing here. This is one of those 0.5 type of characters. It's almost the A+, but not yet exactly. It's really good. Price, come on. 1,000 euros for a bottle of bourbon? No. My first 2 cars didn't cost that much that I bought. That's a long time ago, I must admit that. All right, so I'm looking forward to my blind tasting of Stagg Junior and 3 different types of George T. Stagg. 2009, 2011, and 2013. This is going to be an interesting experience. Tune in, please, for my next video. And please, 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 like, subscribe, and tell others about this crazy guy over here in Germany tasting Stagg and tasting Pappy and tasting other rare and unique and exotic whiskeys and bourbons. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.